Hush, hush, keep it now. Voices carry. Until Tuesday. Kanye West for president. Kanye was like, Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves. Well, somebody was doing some freeing going on. And Harriet Tubman wasn't the only one involved in that. There were a lot of people trying to free those who were in captivity, including white people. So whether Harriet Tubman did it or not, I don't really care. All as I know is that there was a huge operation going on that was underground, and there was more than one person involved in it trying to get people free. And like I said, white people had to be in on that too, because there has always been white sympathizers when it came to slaves. There has always been people who are for it and people who are against it. And then there's the people in the middle. The people in the middle are the people saying, look, I'm not trying to cut anybody's feet off. I'm not trying to, rape anybody and do all these heinous crimes. Nonetheless, the economics here work because this is how it's set up. It just happens to be working. So do I want you to go free? No, I don't. But I'm not going to torment you while you're here. There's been slaves, all over the place in the Bible. There's still slaves today. When you look in the Bible, when it was written by the Council of Nicaea, you know, because they were slaves back then. We were talking about they were. If you read it, it talks about how a slave should act towards the master, and the slave is a Christian. The slave should work as if they're working for Christ while they're working, you know, as a slave. You know what I'm saying? The way the book is written is it's not written to say that the slaves are going to go free. It's written for the large mass of people uh, to understand this is your situation. This is where you're at. You're going to live and die in this situation until God removes you from it. And this is how you should treat the slave master. You know what I mean? Don't look at them as a slave master. Look at them and think of them as the Lord would want you to. Like, you're working, you belong to the kingdom of heaven. That's who your real master is. This person's going to die. This person's going to die, and so are you. So that's the mindset that you have to have, according to, the Bible. And some people actually try to quote those scriptures, as if it was okay to have a slave. That's what kills me. But Kanye West and what he's trying to do, uh, here's what I have to say about that. I would never vote for Kanye West under the current circumstances. He's way too erratic for me, and he doesn't know anything about politics. He is in way over his head. Way, way over his head. And it shows. Um, I don't think anybody who hasn't been in politics should ever become president because the political game is a messy, deadly, deadly game. And if you don't realize that, look at what just happened to that judge and her family, her son and husband. Politics is a messy game. It is a game of death. Trust me, at that level, people die quickly. And you have to be able to make that judgment call. Am I going to wipe out a few thousand just to free, millions? People that you might even know. Because that's what the president does. And you can't say they don't because they do. Um, I wouldn't want the president's job because I don't want blood on my hands. You know what I mean? But blood will definitely be on your hands because you're going to one look. You're going to look at some people as expendable. You're going to have to even your own people. Look at 9/11. Just think about 9/11. In order for 9/11 off, there had to be 3,000 people. There are more people killed in Pearl Harbor than there was in in 9/11 than there was in Pearl Harbor. And as the president, as we believe that he knew it was going to happen. I mean, look at Pearl Harbor. The president knew that was going to happen, and he had to let it happen. The president isn't an end all be on a be all. Kanye West will not be the president. However, what I do give it to him as, he has a lot of attention on him, and he is the first rapper musician to actually make a run for it that I know of. I mean, Jesse the Body made a run for it. He was for the Green Party, I think, something like that. Um, but I think Kanye is the first, or he's the first that people have actually taken seriously. I mean, he's on a campaign right now, which costs so much money. Bernie Sanders had to drop out because of the cost of a running for president. It costs a lot, and you have to have a lot of people behind you, or you'll lose all your money. So if you don't have that type of money, you can just forget it. And so I think Kanye West isn't going to come close because I don't think he has that type of support, and I don't think he has that type of money. And he talking about he's a billionaire. I'm like, yeah, okay, Kanye, okay. I don't know your finances. I don't want to know. But what I do know is not too long ago you was talking about, you know, you needed, some money. Then all of a sudden on the plane you was talking about God gave you a bunch of money back from your taxes, and now you're talking about you're a billionaire. We don't know what's what, yay. We don't know who's who, what's what. You're all over the place, and this turns people off because they don't know what's what. And we've had people who've tried to run for president, and we didn't know what's what. Carolyn Kennedy, or whatever her name is, she tried to run for president. We didn't know what was what with her, and look what happened to her. Once they started digging and got her taxes, that was it. Because we don't know what's what. So, I do give it to Kanye. It's a good run. I mean, it's a good try. It's a good look that you can even claim, you know, to that level to be taken serious. People think he's serious, and he is. So that's you know, straight out of Chi Town. Okay, big ups to you on that. You got some popularity around the world. There's no doubt about that. Heck, I believe more people know you than the freaking vice president. I believe more people know Kanye West than people know who Mike Pence is. You can walk up to somebody on the avenue and say, hey, do you know who Mike Pence is? They'll say, who? You say, you know who Kanye West is? They'll say, absolutely. So Kanye's popularity isn't waning. He can probably go to any country and say, hey, you know who Kanye West is? And they'll be like, all falls down. When it falls down, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? They'll start singing one of his songs, you know what I'm saying? Dear mama, I know I will, you know what I'm saying? And they'll start jamming to him. But as far as you ask him the next question, do you think he can be president? And some people will be optimistic and they'll say, well, yeah, because they don't know what goes into being a president. It's not a place where you want to have a test run. You don't want to put that kind of power in somebody's hands who just purely is not qualified, who doesn't know the ins and outs. And that's all I'm saying. So it's a no for me. There's no way I would hand over the military, the might of the U.S. military, to Kanye West. No, 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 not whatsoever. But, you know, I do like the fact that Ye is at that level. And look, I couldn't see it. I mean, name some of the most famous people that you know, black people that you know, and just ask yourself, white people that you know, ask yourself, could they run for president? Black, white, any nationality right now. The only person that I think could run for president and could be serious, other than Joe Biden for the Democrats, the only person that I think could run for president and be serious is Michelle Obama. I would vote for her, hands down. Hands down, the first woman president, Michelle Obama. Hands down, without a doubt. She knows the game. She knows how to play the game. She's a sweetheart, so that would, people wouldn't be. They'd be like the hard choices you don't want to give to her. They might think she's better at a supporting role. We know she's good at that because Michelle Obama's outlook is not one of like our current president asking before he even got in the office, "Hey, don't we have nuclear bombs?" Yeah, then why don't we use them? Because if you start using nukes, Mr. President, everybody else start using theirs, and we only live on one planet, and those nukes can destroy the planet. That's why. You know what I'm saying? So Michelle doesn't have that in her, and they tried to do more de-escalating than anything. But nonetheless, Michelle Obama for president, I'm with it all the way. She's not going to do it though. Uh, but as far as Kanye West, yeah, he's showing off his popularity and his power. And I don't really have a problem with some of that. I don't think he misquoted what he said about Harriet Tubman, although I don't know why she was brought up. Like, why are you bringing up somebody freeing slaves? What's that got to do with anything? I think the way he looks at black and white people is completely different. I don't think he respects black people as much as he respects white people. He does have some political, understanding, but I don't think it's deep seated enough for him to run a country. Now, would I put Kanye West into a local office? If he wanted to be, yes. But president, no. I could see Kanye West being. I couldn't see him being a treasurer. I could see Kanye West being a House of Representatives. You know what I'm saying? I could see him doing that. 100%. Uh, yeah, I could see him running for House of Representatives and doing it. And I could eventually see him running for senator. Um, and eventually U.S. senator. And if he wanted to, yeah, like I could see him. I could see him moving right up the chain. I'm not sure if this is the chain anymore, but but I can see him running for House Representatives and then dipping off into governor and or House Representatives, Senate, governor, and then and then maybe running for president or running for a U.S. Senate. So I could see that. I could see that, and I would respect that a lot more than just saying I'm gonna run for president. Like I think he should back down and just slow down. You can't run a country just budgeting and all that. No. GDP and understanding why people hate us, why people like us. No. We're no longer in the UN. I mean, we don't know what your outlook on abortion is. We don't know, what I'm saying, women's rights. It's just so much to tackle, you know. And then, of course, the country in the current turmoil it is with police. I mean, what's your suggestions? I don't know any of that. So it's a big no for me. But for House Representative, absolutely. Absolutely. This is what I think. It's your boy Tone 202 God loves you and so do I. Peace.